Philadelphia News, team of my heart. Paul George showed you flashes of brilliance in the preseason, but a knee injury has you wondering, will he be ready for the Sixers' regular season opener? In this Sixers news, you'll hear Nick Nurse's honest take on George's play, his smart defense, his clutch shooting, and how critical he is to the Sixers' success. Can George stay healthy and make the impact you're waiting for? Stay tuned to find out, and subscribe for all the latest Sixers news. Don't miss a second of what's next. Paul George, in the brief moments you've seen him in this preseason, has shown flashes of brilliance. You might have noticed his sharp shooting and the way he handles himself on the court, but it's hard to ignore that Monday night matchup against Atlanta. It's like a punch to the gut, seeing George lead the game so early with that knee hyperextension. And as a fan, the questions start swirling, is this the start of another long stretch of setbacks? Can he still be the guy we expect him to be for this team? Coach Nick Nurse, though, isn't hitting the panic button. You can hear the confidence in his voice when he talks about George. Nurse sees something in him, a spark. He's a bucket maker, Nurse said, laying it out plain and simple. You know, George's ability to find his rhythm offensively is undeniable. But there's more to it. Nurse isn't just looking at those points on the scoreboard, he's watching how George reads the floor, how he anticipates plays on both sides. He calls George a smart team defender. Now, that's not something you throw around lightly. It's a recognition of how deeply George understands the game, how locked in he is even when he's not the one with the ball in his hands. You remember his Sixers debut against Minnesota, right? 16 points, shooting lights out, 55% from the field, 50% from three. That's not a coincidence. George still has that sniper-like precision, and Nurse highlighted it, how every little thing matters to George. It's like watching a craftsman perfect his art, no wasted movement, no lack of focus. That attention to detail, whether it's crashing the boards or playing relentless defense, is what makes him stand out, even if it's just preseason. And then there's the resilience. You've seen players go down before and wonder, will they bounce back? George got that knee hyperextended, and suddenly, your mind goes to worst-case scenarios. But here's the silver lining, no structural damage. That's huge. Sure, he's taking a week off, but you know as well as I do that this is more precautionary than anything. The last thing the Sixers want is to risk their all-star forward this close to the regular season. You feel the weight of it, though, don't you? You've been here before, watching a key player step away just when they're about to hit their stride. Yet, even in those limited minutes, George has shown enough to stir optimism. He's not just skating by, he's making an impact. You've seen the numbers, 16 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. But beyond the stats, it's about how he fits into the fabric of the Sixers squad. He's a leader by example. And while you might be holding your breath, waiting to see how this knee situation plays out, Nurse's words offer some reassurance. George will be back, and when he is, you can bet he'll be ready to pick up right where he left off. But let's be honest, you didn't need Nurse to tell you that George is special. You've watched him throughout his career. Now, as part of the Sixers, he's got that added fire, something to prove, something to fight for. So, where do you stand on this? You've seen Paul George put up solid numbers, you've watched him move with purpose on the court, and now he's dealing with this knee issue. Does it make you nervous? You know how crucial his presence is for this Sixers team, and you can't help but wonder, will he be ready when the regular season kicks off? Think about how important those 2 preseason games were for him. Sure, it's only preseason, but those 20 minutes per game. Every one of them mattered. George wasn't just filling up the stat sheet, he was setting the tone. You saw him knocking down 50% from 3, didn't you? That's the kind of efficiency that makes you sit up. You know how hard it is to find a player who can create their own shot and drain it with such consistency, especially under pressure. Yet, that's exactly what George is bringing to this roster. And don't forget about his defense. You can't win games without stops, right? When Nurse calls him a smart team defender, that's not just coach talk. George knows where to be, how to communicate with his teammates, and how to shut down key players. It's that high IQ on both ends of the floor that makes you feel like the Sixers have something special brewing with him. Now, let's talk about his impact on the boards. He's not the tallest guy on the court, but George isn't afraid to mix it up inside. 4 rebounds per game might not jump off the page, but you've seen him fight for position, boxing out bigger guys, and snatching those key rebounds. It's the kind of hustle that doesn't always get the spotlight but makes a huge difference when the game is on the line. George isn't just an offensive weapon, he's grinding it out on both ends. You've probably noticed how locked in he is during practices, too. Coach Nurse highlighted how George gives it everything, every single rep, that kind of focus, that kind of attention to detail. It's contagious. It sets the standard for everyone else. You can feel the excitement building for what's to come. You're already imagining how that energy will translate into regular season games, right? But then there's this injury. It's tough not to worry, especially given George's history with setbacks. You've been down this road before with other players, haven't you? The fear that a tweak or hyperextension could turn into something bigger. But when Nurse reassures you that there's no structural damage, it's hard not to feel a bit of relief. It's a minor hiccup, and you know George will use this week off wisely. But still, the thought lingers, will he come back the same? Will he continue to build on the momentum he's shown so far? There's a lot riding on it. George isn't just another player on this roster. He's a key piece of the puzzle, someone who can tip the scales in the Sixers' favor. You're counting on him, and so is the rest of this team. With the season opener right around the corner, all eyes are on George. How do you feel about it? Are you confident he'll bounce back stronger, or are you bracing for the possibility that this could slow him down? So, what happens next? You've got Paul George, who's shown you exactly what he can do in just 2 preseason games. But now, with this knee hyperextension, the question on everyone's mind is whether he can stay healthy when it counts the most. You've seen it before, players show flashes of brilliance, only for injuries to rob them of the chance to make a true impact. Are you ready to see George overcome this and prove that he's more than just flashes? Think about what he brings to the table when he's at full strength. George isn't just a shooter, he's a playmaker, a guy who can create space, get buckets, and still lock down defensively. His shooting percentages in the preseason, 55% from the field, 50% from deep, show you how lethal he is when he gets going. You can picture him alongside Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, spacing the floor, finding open shots, and making defenses pay for leaving him even an inch of daylight. That's the kind of impact player he is. You know it. But will the knee hold up? You've already seen how committed he is. Nurse talks about how George leaves it all on the court in practice, every possession, every rep. That's what you want from a guy who's expected to be a cornerstone of the Sixers' success. You know the talent is there, the basketball IQ is there, and now the key is his health. Can you trust George to stay on the court and deliver when it matters? You feel that anticipation, don't you? The regular season is just around the corner, and you're thinking about how George will fit into this team's rotation. You're already imagining him knocking down clutch shots, making game-changing defensive stops, and stepping up when the Sixers need him most. But there's that lingering uncertainty, will the knee slow him down, or will he come back even hungrier? This team is counting on him, and so are you. The Sixers have been on the cusp of greatness for years, and George could be the missing piece. You're here because you believe in this team. You know they have what it takes to compete for a championship, and George is a big part of that equation. His ability to contribute on both ends of the floor, his leadership, his experience, it's all crucial. So, what do you think? Will Paul George be the difference maker this team needs? Are you ready to see him rise to the occasion and help push the Sixers to the next level? Or do you worry that this injury might be a setback that holds him and the team back? If you're as excited as I am to see how this unfolds, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and stay locked in for all the Sixers news. You won't want to miss a second of what's coming next.